First of all, it's a pleasure to once again be in this round of the competition. So obviously states ourselves in the level of where we want to be between the best teams in the continent. Obviously, we face this quarterfinal with a lot of ambition. We know we want to proceed. We will do our best in the two matches that we have ahead in order to proceed. We expect two tough matches. I don't think there's no underrated team or underdog attitude. We're going to face an opponent that was first qualified in a group where there were very, very important teams like Petro Luanda, like Simba, and Esperance Tunis. But we also know very well what we are capable of. We know very well what we want to bring in the pitch tomorrow. It's important that we are quite loyal to the plan that we defined. It has to do with the analysis we did in our opponent. That we respect ourselves, and respect ourselves is taking us to the limit. I think the last match we did in the Champions League home with MC Alger was an example about what is the will of a team, what is the intensity of a team, the commitment towards an objective. And that's what my appeal to our players in order to bring that same energy inside the pitch. I think that if we take ourselves to the limit, we'll be closer to achieve an objective, despite there's still an important game to play, obviously, away that, and also a word already that I think will be important despite whatever weather we may have in Pretoria tomorrow, for our fans to bring the energy that we want, we deserve, and they always bring with pleasure, so that we can also profit from that energy. And also I hope that the players can set up a good match so that we also give energy to the people and we can create the ambience we need to take us forward.
Thank you, Coach Grant. I'm just going to pose the same question to you, just from a player's perspective. How are you guys feeling? What are some of the conversations that you are having as players ahead of this quarterfinal encounter?
Yeah, afternoon to everyone. As players, I think we're in good spirits. I think we've been on a good run, so the confidence is high. We know the stakes are high, especially going into this stage of the Champions League. So we know what's expected. But I think we've prepared quite well. Everyone's going to go into tomorrow's game fully focused and fully knowing what's at stake and what's at hand and what's expected from us. So yeah, we're going to go in there pretty confident about tomorrow to just do our best.
Thank you so much. We're now going to open the floor for questions. Please kindly raise your hand and let us know from media house you're representing, as well as who you're directing your question to between the player and the coach.
Vincent from SABC News to the coach and also Grant, Minister to the coach. Coach, in the last couple of years, your teams always finish second in the group stages. Is that something that bothers you, or are you just going to roll with the punches? And to Grant, Sundowns, except for last season, they've always finished on top, breaking records in the group stages. But when it comes to the knockout stages, things don't go your way. But last season, you finished second and then you almost went all the way. Unfortunately, you didn't make it against the Pyramids in the final. Is that the space that you want to be in, where nobody really expects you to go all the way, where there's less pressure, so that you can finally get another start?
Yeah, I think every season is different, and we mustn't take away from how difficult the Champions League is. We as a team would love to finish first, and we tried our best. I wouldn't say we were looking to finish second place. We really did try our best, and it just shows the competitiveness of the Champions League. Every game we go into to try win, and it's not obviously possible, but that's the mentality we have. Is always to try finish at our best, which is number one.
For my part, finishing the group stage in first or second is not really something that touches the head of the players. when you make a group stage, there are a lot of things that happen throughout the competition. It's a 6-match competition, and obviously sometimes there's fluctuations, and you don't achieve the first position, but it speaks just for the point. Important is move forward. Last year we stayed in second, and we had to play away 2 times on the quarterfinal and semi-final, and we did well in Esperance and also Ahly. So I don't think that is really something that determines the outcome of a qualifying round. What determines the outcome of a qualifying round is the commitment that players put throughout the 180 minutes, plus the discounts on both matches, and how they feel strong together in terms of creating the mentality, the mindset, and the tactical approach. So that makes them really, really capable to beat the opponent. We are speaking about experienced players from both sides on this qualifying round, and what will determine indeed the result on the end of the 2 matches is the capacity to be a very strong collective team throughout the 2 matches. That will for sure make the result of the qualifying round.
Coach, do you have another question?
Coach Mazola from SABC Sport. Judging by your comments about the state of the pitch, the last time we were here, I think you mentioned that it was almost like stepping on mud. And I think that particular weekend it hadn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but it hadn't rained too much. But it rained today, it's likely to rain tomorrow. How much does that affect you? Because we are now used to Sundowns playing the type of football that you want. It's important to you, it's important to the fans. But I guess it is a challenge in a way, in a crucial match like this one.
For sure, I believe there's a lot of people that is very happy because it's raining. Because after the dark night that we had 2 days ago in Rustenburg, yesterday we had also a very dark night with ghosts around Johannesburg. At least it seems so, for the ones that want to read between the lines. But I just want to, if you allow me to pick my glasses, I want to read you something that can be really interesting for you to know, because it goes towards the direction of your question. Look, Sundowns, we played, as you know, 2 days ago, so we're going to play tomorrow with 3 days time distance between matches. And between the 2 legs, we're going to play Marumo Gallants. I don't know if you had the worry to make this exercise, but from all the 7 teams besides us on this competition, no one has matches between the 2 legs. No one. So Stade Malien had 9 days to prepare this match and will not play between the 2 legs of the competition. Esperance had 7 days to prepare the match with Al Ahly, and they don't play between the 2 legs. Al Ahly had 9 days to prepare this competition, 6 days, and they don't play between the 2 legs. Asfar has 6 days to prepare their match, and they don't play between matches. Pyramids, 5 days to prepare, they don't play between the 2 legs. Berkane, 6 days, they don't play between legs. Al Hilal, 12 days, they don't play between matches. I think it's absolutely a shame what's happening in South Africa and how Sundowns is being treated. It's not normal, because I spoke after the match in Orbit regarding what happened in the French league with Paris Saint-Germain. I spoke what happened in the Spanish league with Real Madrid, and how Pep Guardiola was complaining about the treatment that was given to him and to Manchester City by the Premier League. But then I asked, let myself make the exercise about what is happening in Africa, because I don't want people to say that that is Europe, you are from Europe. It seems that being in Europe is something that is from another world, what it is not. So I went back and I took a look at what is happening, the realities in Africa. And the realities in Africa is that all the leagues are providing conditions for the clubs to represent their countries in the best way. And we ourselves, we feel that we are being really mistreated in the way we are being considered and taken in consideration for ourselves to make the preparation in the best way. I think we did very well last year on the Champions League. This club has stayed in the country in the continent for many years, semi-finals one after the other. 9 years ago, they won the Champions League. We won the African Football League. We made a fantastic best team in Africa in the World Cup of clubs recently. And I don't understand. I just don't understand why it's not possible, or how it was possible that we played Orbit 3 days ago or 2 days ago, how it's possible that we're going to play Marumo Gallants on Tuesday. And of course, that's why I said there's people that are very happy for sure in South Africa that it's raining and we still have to play in a heavy pitch, what obviously doesn't help. The pitch is not for sure in the best conditions as we would like it to be, but there are many more important things than the condition of the pitch, because what the pitch will be for both teams. What we needed was to have a proper time to rest, a proper time to prepare the match, a proper time to rest after this one to prepare the next one. So there's a lot of people that is just working to create conditions so that we don't succeed. I don't know if you saw, but Tapelo Morena will not be available for this match because Jaden Adams in the match with home match with Skukune, he got a red card in an action that is exactly the same that happened in the match with Orbit on Morena, and he got injured. He's not available to play. So tomorrow we don't have Tapelo Morena, neither on the match, neither on the bench. But that player got nothing. So we continue to play against 11. And I'm speaking about dark nights. I'm speaking about ghosts. It's not up to me to speak about whatever. I cannot. I don't want to be punished. But I don't think it's proper for a club like this that has such a beautiful attitude and sports-wise, a very good attitude towards what is the football and the game itself, and be not provided the conditions to succeed. That's just the only thing I have to say.
Another question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, but she wants to follow up.
Okay.
Hi, Coach. Coach, I just wanted to follow up on that because now, obviously, from our perspective and from your perspective, it obviously looks like the odds are stacked against you in every way. So, what are then the conversations like when you know that the pitch is not in your favor? You've got games stacked against you, you've got players that are injured. As a coach, how do you respond to this and still get the positive result tomorrow, because you still need to show up? And obviously coaches always get a bashing because the team can't be complacent as well. So what's now the conversation with the team to show up and still get the positive result?
Let's not confuse things, please. I'm not finding excuses for nothing. We don't work with excuses. We work with character and attitude. We don't work with excuses. We don't work with things. We just state contexts and we do our best. And we have all the conditions to do a very good match tomorrow. And I'm sure we're going to do. And there's nothing one thing to do with the other. But I cannot go through the things. I have to defend my players. I have to take care of my players, and I have to defend my club. So don't confuse. We don't look for excuses in Sundowns for nothing. Either pitch, either rain, either heavy temperature, either humidity. We don't care about that. We go wherever we have to go and we do our best. And tomorrow there will be 11 players inside the pitch with a high commitment and high conditions to make a fantastic match, to fight from the first to the last minute, whatever conditions there will be. And more than other ones in the bench, and a group that is outside that supports the ones that are going to play. So we don't look for excuses. There's nothing on that. So my attitude and my statement it's just a statement. Nothing on feeling that the odds are whatever. No. Don't confuse. The odds, they just exist when the whistle starts. And that is where it starts, everything. And then is where the players have to prove themselves, and the coaches try to be wiser to help the players, nothing more. And the players of Sundowns, they are used to also work under adverse conditions, and they are used to give answers. And this is then the character of my players that I trust and on the quality of everybody that works in the club to provide the best conditions so that they can succeed, and nothing more.
That's it. Do you have the second mic? Or okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's gonna come back to you. Yeah.
Oh, my question is for Bobat. I just want to check something with you. It's not really related to the match, but I'm taking a chance because we don't get to speak to you guys quite often. The Bafana issue, you keep on being ignored for the national team despite the fact that you've been consistent with the club. I just want to check, does this thing affect you in any way, or you just carry on and control what you can control, as they say?
Yeah, I think my primary focus is definitely Mamelodi Sundowns, and they're the ones that give me a platform to get selected for the national team. So right now, I think my primary focus is Mamelodi Sundowns.
Yes, coach, and also you, Grant. Unfortunately, I'm behind the cameras here. You are very this side. Yes, I think, coach, one of a long-standing issue, and I'm sure you would have noticed even yourself when you are coaching Esperance, but it's mainly an issue that we encounter when we meet more Central African and West African teams, the issue of physical strength. And I was watching Stade Malien even in the group stages against teams of similar nature. It's something that they use a lot to their advantage. I saw even when we were in the AFCON how we struggled in this area, especially against Cameroon. And what becomes the right approach to counter this? I'm thinking about your first leg and the second leg, and maybe how it will be different, how they approach that. I would appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much for the question, and you've done your homework, because it's true. It's a very aggressive team in terms of how they go for the duels, how they try to go for contact, how do they stop the play from the opponent team with a lot of falls. I think we have a good thing in this qualifying rounds, because knockout stages is that we have VAR, and that obviously regulates some of the things. But there's also much more attention on this kind of games than in the group stages, what obviously takes the focus of the players on everybody and on a limit. That is different. But what I expect, obviously, is that the team can oppose in terms of behaviors to that kind of aggressivity. It's obviously important that the players don't have too much time on the ball individually, that they choose the spaces that are available on the pitch to play the ball, that they take quickly the ball out of the pressure, that they win the ball and take the ball for other spaces than keeping the ball in the same space where there are more players from the opponent. Yeah, it's a team that has a lot of physicality. In some moments, some teams suffered a little bit with that on the group stage, but also that physicality can play against you, because also there are probably in some moments more attractions on the ball or around the ball. Let's see. Sundowns players are obviously let's say warned for that aspect of the game. They have experienced also. And if they take it, as I said before, to the limit, understanding of how to approach the games in terms of tactically and strategically, probably it can work. But it's clear. It's clear characteristic, as you said.
Good afternoon, coach. Good afternoon, colleagues. Coach, Mamelodi Sundowns are the more experienced team comparing to your opponent. How much would the experience play against a team that would want to prove itself against Sundowns?
Look, experience is only important if you make use of it. So what I expect is indeed that the players of Sundowns understand, obviously, and take to the limit, and I'm sure they're going to do it. the details and the preparation that we gave to them. So that is obviously what can bring the game more to the side where we want to play it. It's up to our opponent to try to exactly take us to the other side. So the focus we're gonna need, and we need to understand that this is a team that didn't suffer many goals throughout the group stage. They fight for every ball very strongly, and they commit themselves with a defensive process in a very aggressive way. But we need indeed to have a strong focus throughout the 90 and few minutes that the match is gonna have, and that's that pursuit, that commitment, that is persistence that can create some result. We say that soft water in strong stone kicks until it makes a path. Let's say something like that as an expression we have in Portugal, and that's how probably we have to approach. But this team also demands from us a lot of attention on their offensive transitions, of course. It's a team that has always a very stable four-man defense with two midfielders that looks for their wingers, their forward and then number 10 to attack with mobility. We need to be careful, and everybody knows that this will be a 120 plus few minutes, two matches. What obviously important that we keep very stable throughout those two matches.
Good afternoon, Coach. Nick Lisa for Backpage Media. There was a video posted on the club's social media before the All College game. Obviously, now you've told us about Tapelo's injury, but saying that Mochobi Mavalo was the only player still injured and recovering. I just wanted to firstly confirm that with you. And secondly, I'm sure that's quite a relief having a full squad and complement of players available, but has that also provided a bit of a headache for you in terms of squad selection, just in terms of the depth and players available?
Look, regarding Tapelo was the first time I spoke about a player getting injured, because we really felt that is not proper, the approach that was given on that situation, and compared to because as you remember here on this press conference room, I said that the red card from Jaden was a clear red card. There was nothing to say. So we just want people to pay attention on everything that happens in the matches. We are going in a phase of the championship, and in this phase of the Champions League, where everything is on the limit. And as it is on the limit, people try to push it to the different sides. That's again, and we go back again on the talk of the importance of giving help to the referees with the VAR. I told that, and I will repeat. Everything I will say has not to do with the referees, has to do with the system that protects or should protect them. And the implementation of a right and correct VAR system will allow to correct this kind of things, because referees are human beings. They can make mistakes, but for sure, if they would be helped the right way, those mistakes will decrease. I just want also to say that the implementation of a VAR system is something that requires a lot of education and preparation and formation from the VAR agents or referees. What obviously is, if the system is going to progress, it should be as quick as possible, so that we don't have in the next season more mistakes from VAR mistakes rather than the ones we have this season. So it's really something that should move quickly. Anyway, it's also an appeal so that people pay maximum attention on everything that is going to happen in these matches. But we are speaking about Champions League. Champions League has VAR, and that will for sure regulate the games in a more correct way.
Before we go to Mamelodi, do you have any other questions so that I spot their hands and more? How many at the back? Okay, so we have two. We're going to take Mazola in the last two questions, then we're going to close the press conference. Thank you.
Okay, my question is to Grant. I just wanted you to just weigh in on the schedule, because a lot of the time, whether it's here or abroad, when the coaches speak about the scheduling, they are made out to sound like lunatics or crazy or whatever, but we hardly ever have players next to them to back them up on those things. So I'd just like to hear your view on how the players are coping, not having enough preparation time and flying up and down.
Yeah, I think, since I've arrived at Sundowns, it's pretty much been the same. So for us who've been here for quite some time, we're sort of gotten used to it, even though it's still taxing to the body. But we're also privileged to have people in the club that help us with the recovery methods, and also the way coach tends to rest other certain players and during training sessions, So we're trying to balance it out on our side, and I think the cry is just for the country to be in support of us, because that's all we're asking for, for the country to support us in our path, because we're not only representing Mamelodi Sundowns, we're representing the country. So it's taxing to the body, but we don't really let it dictate how we show up on the game. We understand that we have to show up and that a lot is expected from us. So we just really crying out for support.
Just gonna take the question at that and then we'll come back to the phone.
Let me just complement a little bit, if you allow me, the question of Grant, because sometimes it's as you state, it looks like we are crazy from both parts on speaking about these kind of things systematically. But I just want to give you an example about how was the preparation of this match. So after we played Sekukuni, we had a morning training session. And after that morning training session, we said that afternoon we had to take it and we had to finish the preparation of the match with Orbit. So me and the assistant coaches, we stayed in Clorcop up till 9 o'clock in the night. And during that period, we prepared everything that had to do with Orbit. So from there on, the players, of course, they didn't understand that, but we started working on Stade Malien ourselves. So that as soon as we finished the match with Orbit, we had everything prepared in order to try to give information to the players. So yesterday, the players saw together with us in the morning